Winter in Brooksville had arrived with a fierce chill that seemed to seep into every corner of the town. The streets were lined with bare trees, their branches etched against the pale gray sky like lacy silhouettes. Snow drifted down gently but steadily, covering rooftops and sidewalks in a soft white blanket. Despite the beauty of the season, a feeling of quiet isolation hung in the air, especially for one small girl named Emily. Emily was just 7 years old and had wandered these cold streets for several days now, her heart heavy with loneliness. Her chestnut hair was tangled, and her thin jacket was no match for the icy gusts. Her tiny feet were bare, save for worn socks that offered little protection from the biting frost. She clutched a small, tattered doll, a remnant of happier times, and searched the desolate streets with tired eyes. The absence of her mother was painfully keen. Emily's mother had left town for Lurk, promising to return soon, but the days stretched endlessly, filled with empty rooms and silence. Her father was a distant memory, and no other relatives could be found. Emily's world had shrunk to a cold street corner beside an abandoned park bench. As the sun dipped behind the rooftops, painting the sky in hues of pale pink and lavender, Emily shivered uncontrollably. She clenched her arms tightly around herself, but the tremble in her small body wouldn't cease. Her breath came in misty puffs, and the cold had begun to dull her senses. It was then that Michael arrived. Michael, a man in his late 40s, was known by many in Brooksville as a gentle man with a compassionate heart. He was a father himself, having raised his daughter Anna alone after the passing of his wife a few years ago. Michael understood the hardships of loneliness and loss all too well. As he rounded the corner, his eyes fell upon Emily. The sight of the little girl standing alone in the winter cold froze him in place. Without a second thought, Michael approached slowly, kneeling beside her. He wrapped his thick wool scarf snugly around Emily's shoulders. The warmth of the scarf was a small barrier against the cruel wind. Emily's eyes met his, wide with surprise, but also a flicker of relief. Michael smiled gently, his voice soft as he asked, "Emily, why are you out here all alone in this cold?" Emily's voice was barely a whisper. I don't have anywhere else to go. Mom's away, and no one else is here." The truth rang heavy in her words, cutting deeper than the cold ever could. Michael nodded, understanding more than she said. "You're not alone anymore," he said. "Come with me. Let me help you find warmth and safety." Hand in hand, they walked together through the snow-dusted streets, leaving footprints behind like a fragile trail of hope. On the way, Michael told Emily stories of winter festivals filled with lights and laughter, stories about kindness that shines brightest in the darkest moments. Soon, they arrived at a cozy neighborhood cafe where windows glowed golden, casting a warm welcome onto the snow outside. The owner, Mrs. Olson, welcomed them with a kind smile and quickly brought Emily a blanket and a cup of creamy hot chocolate. Michael ordered a bowl of soup, watching as Emily's cheeks slowly turned pink again with warmth. He encouraged her to talk, and she shared small memories. The songs her mother used to sing, the games she once played with neighborhood children, and the stories her father told before he was gone. When Emily finished her hot chocolate, Michael suggested they visit the community center, a place that had become a refuge for many in need over the cold months. The center was alive with warmth, laughter, and the scent of pine and cinnamon. Volunteers greeted them with smiles, and soon Sarah, an empathetic volunteer, came forward. Sarah wrapped Emily in a fresh pair of warm mittens and offered a seat by the fireplace. Michael introduced Emily to the center's staff and explained her situation. Days passed, filled with gentle routine. Emily helped decorate the center with paper snowflakes she cut from scrap paper, her laughter slowly returning. Volunteers taught her to knit scarves and helped with small crafts. Michael visited every day, reading stories and bringing small gifts, helping Emily feel less invisible. Together they contacted authorities to locate Emily's mother. The search stretched for days, until one afternoon a neighbor's call brought news. The mother was coming. When Emily's mother arrived, tears flowed freely. Emily ran into her arms, warmth and forgiveness mingling in their embrace. For the first time in a long while, Emily felt whole again. Spring came at last, with buds blooming on trees and sunlight warming the air. Emily, now surrounded by friends, family, and a caring community, helped organize a winter celebration at the center. A celebration of hope, kindness, and second chances. Michael stood nearby, smiling as Emily showed children how to make paper snowflakes, telling the story of a little girl who found warmth in the coldest season. The story of Emily and Michael became one told time and again, a tale of loneliness eased by compassion, of broken lives knit together by human kindness, and the quiet power of a stranger's care.